Hello and welcome back to another Rave podcast, and in this episode I'm excited to introduce to you Still London. Still London is a producer from Toronto, now living in Vancouver, and is an absolute talent within the electronic music scene and runs one of the most iconic studios in North America. In this episode we discuss the electronic music industry and what it's like navigating through the electronic scene with running DJ tutorials, running one of the most iconic studios in North America, producing music and so much more. We cover the foundation of what it's like to start a DJ tutorial masterclass, how running a public studio for producers, and how finding and booking DJs for his residency every Thursday. So if you're looking for tips and tricks on how you could build your own studio, start your own mix series and everything else involved with DJing, then this is for you. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment in the video and help us grow the show so we can continue to get on great guests. And thank you ever so much for supporting the show. I'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, bro.
Thanks for having me.
That's right. Welcome to another Roving podcast, and I'm glad you come out here. Really,
yeah. Thanks.
This is a studio for itself.
Absolutely, yeah. It's beautiful.
Stoked
to be here.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Yes. I've been trying to get you on for a long time. I know things have got in the way, personal life, and just being busy DJing.
Yeah.
You're a very busy man, aren't you? So let's start off then. Like, where did it all begin? Let's learn more about Still London, because we see the man behind the decks, but we don't know the man behind the decks.
Right.
So let's learn a bit more about that. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, thanks again for having me.
All good, mate.
It's always good to chat with you, and now it's awesome to be here and just to have a nice long conversation and just sit down and chat. And where it all started for me was honestly, like, I've always been a big fan of electronic music, house music. The first electronic track that I really ever heard that I fell in love with was when I was in like first grade. First grade. Really? And that was Children by Robert Miles.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, that was a banging tune. Yeah. Well, it is a banging tune.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, so I was a little confused kid, living in France, trying to learn French because my family moved around a lot when I was a kid. And so I guess you could say that's where it started. But my dad is also a musician, really amazing piano player, used to be in a band, a few bands actually, playing in Europe and stuff. Yeah. So, that's kind of where it started. And, I was kind of like the kid in high school who would have his Walkman or a CD player, and would just be on the bus on the way to school, exactly, same. Listening to Above and Beyond, like the Tri-State album and Tiesto Just Be, and all those classics.
Yes, mate.
And that was sort of just, so I basically got an early start into listening and being a fan of electronic music.
So what countries did you travel around to then?
So I was born in Slovakia. And like I said, at an early age, we moved to France, and then we moved back to Slovakia, and then we moved to Canada finally when I was 9 years old. Yeah. And we moved to London, Ontario. And that's why my DJ name is Still London, because my parents are still there. That's kind of like where our roots are. Yeah. When we moved to Canada, when we came over here, so.
Nice. And I'm just going to show the camera that you actually bought some Czech beer.
I did.
There you go. Thanks very much.
Little gift.
Yeah. And so obviously you come from like the Robert Miles and all that sort of music sort of stuff, and your dad obviously had a big impact on like bringing you into the music scene. Mm-hmm. So where did it grow from there then? So you've obviously been introduced with like, let's say, Robert Miles and Above and Beyond, and then you listen to your Walkman, and then how does it go on from that?
Yeah, so another factor, or I guess in my inspiration or in my beginnings as a DJ was my older brother Merrick, right? Who actually DJs now under the alias AMI 8, like AMI 8, right? Awesome DJ, and like he basically he kind of started fiddling with making kind of compilations or CDs or, you know, stuff with his favorite tracks. And then he introduced me to this program called Mixmeister.
Mixmeister?
Yeah, it's a software called Mixmeister, and it was basically like a dedicated DJ software. So you had your basic, you know, kind of timeline, and you just throw tracks in, and you'd have like the bass, mids, and high knobs or whatever. So you'd sit there and click and make transitions.
Was that like the EJ used to get in cereal boxes?
I guess.
Did you get that in Canada?
No, never.
No? In UK you used to get a CD called EJ.
No, I haven't heard of that.
No,
what is that?
It was a CD called EJ. You used to get it in cereal, like your Rice Krispies or something.
Really?
Yeah, and you just put it into the thing and be like, oh, I can mix tracks. Like,
what?
Yeah, in the cereal box.
Wait, you got DJ software in cereal boxes?
Yeah, it's called EJ.
Yo, what?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's crazy. you thought I was top DJ at like 9 years old eating
No
Rice Krispies.
Yo, give me that box of cereal.
Yeah, EJ. I think it's called EJ. Something like that, yeah, but.
That's
so
awesome.
Your brother started doing that then on this like software then,
yeah.
And then like was you doing that as well?
Was I DJing as well? Or?
Yeah, like was he doing that? Was you showing that? Was he showing that to you?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he kind of started with that, and then I kind of just like took off with it, like in terms of just, you know, starting to experiment and all that, and then eventually I got my first like little DJ controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like an Allen and Heath. It was like one of those Allen and Heath all-in-one controllers.
You went with a good brand for your first one.
Yeah, that was my first. Yeah. And then later I got a Tractor S4, and then after that, eventually, you know, after playing a few gigs on Ontario with the Tractor and having to depend on a laptop to have all my music and all that stuff, I was like, you know what, it's probably time I learn CDJs and just carry around the good old USBs.
Yeah, classic.
So
I'm going to step it back a bit then. Obviously, Czechoslovakian roots, so you're born, still London, stuff like that. So obviously you got into like above and beyond, like we said, Robert Miles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Was there any kind of music that would come from like, you know, like from Czech that influenced you as well that you liked, that sort of took you back to your roots like that?
I mean, like in terms of electronic music, not really,
but any sort of music, yeah.
But I would say kind of like the classical music.
Classical music, yeah.
In high school, I played in like, you know, the band for all 4 years, and played in some other like extra bands in high school as well. Played the trumpet, which was a good old time.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely just like having to learn music theory and listening to, you know, great composers, and kind of getting inspired by just listening to and having to participate in, you know, just collectively playing instruments as a band and seeing what like the tuba, what space the tuba takes up, like the bass, you know, the bass range, you know, like the lower level big instruments that kind of provide the bass range, and then like, you know, just seeing and observing and listening to just that combination of live instruments, I'm sure had an impact.
100%, yeah, because classical music is basically, I mean, some people might not agree, but I think classical music is sick.
Oh, it's amazing.
When you listen to it, and it's all structured, like, it's amazing. And then when you watch like an orchestra, innit, like how the composer does, you know what I mean, everyone blends in, it's like, you get your DJ and they're mixing on dance floor, you get the crowd pumping, things like that. But this is like moving the people, like the players and the crowd that are watching. Mm-hmm. I think it's a massive, massive benefit, like for music like that.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah. And the one thing I'm kind of like envious of with bands and orchestras, you know, when they're playing live, is like they don't really have a like a loudness ceiling. Like they're afforded so much more dynamic range. Like when you hear, you know, a live symphony or orchestra where there's like, it's not really coming out of like the PA system that has a specific ceiling, they can really hit like the super quiet notes and like then like really expand into like, you know, the crescendos and you know, that kind of like those like big powerful finales in music. Whereas I mean, obviously over the years with electronic music, it's just gotten more and more squashed and more compressed and all that stuff, right? But I feel like it's kind of coming back to like, I don't know what you think, but like the loudness wars, like, do you think it's kind of like gone away
for the loudness.
Yeah, because
I think what, in my eyes, a lot of people, if you listen to basic music back in the day when people were sampling music, and they were like in the 80s and stuff and things like that, it was more, you could play more with it and there was less stuff involved. I think now everyone's trying to involve so much into tracks now, trying to add so much to fill the little gaps, and I think some little gaps in music need to be there.
I think so.
Do you know what I mean? So if you go back to classical music, I'm not an expert on this. I just love listening to it. But, you know, certain instruments will have their time and then certain two will blend in, you know. But I think with electronic music now, we're just trying to cram so much into it and then squash it to make it fit. Do you know what I mean? It's like trying to fit, I don't know, like a car in a cardboard box, you know. It's just trying to, and I just, you know, I think you're right in that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we need to just take it back to the basics, like the old stuff, where it's really effective. Do you know what I mean?
I think so too. I think simplicity is really hard to achieve in production. Yeah. You know, because the less elements you have, the more like clear and refined those elements have to be. And that can be scary as a producer when you're like, you know, this just doesn't sound quite right. I'm going to just like layer it with a bunch of stuff to like make it sound okay. Yeah. But then you end up muddying the mix and, you know, potentially, and just overcomplicating things. So
if you listen to like the original like house tracks, like I'm going to go back to say 2000, I think it was 11 or 9 or whatever, but Jamie Jones's remix or Hot Nature remix of Hungry for the Power, you know, it was very basic, it was very gritty, but it was still like a proper banging tune. Do you know what I mean? That everyone loved. And I think everyone, like you say, everyone's trying to put too much in. I think we're moving a bit away from that. I could be wrong.
I think some people are moving away, some people are getting more complicated. But I mean, one of my favorite producers, Eric Prydz, you know, his stuff is fairly simple.
Is it piano or piano?
A piano?
Oh, that was a banger, man.
That's a classic. That used to be one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, that song is just wicked. Yeah. And I was talking about Tiesto. Yeah, I was listening to his Copenhagen mix when he mixed, and then one of the first mixes he done was one of his tracks, I think it was, and he mixed in Dead Masses Not Exactly. Okay, yeah. And it was like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I had it on DVD and everything. I was like, oh shit. And he's got like CDJ 1000s. I'm like, oh, this is brand new gear and everything. It was so sick. And I was just like, oh man, it's wicked times. That sort of music.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I've also been a big fan of hip hop all my life. Yeah. You know, as well. So it's like electronic's always been my number one, but I think, I don't know, for me it's really cool to like sometimes just go ahead and listen to like something completely different that kind of then like re-inspires you. And
I don't know what, I fucking totally agree with this, and I've spoke to quite a few people about this, is like if you expose yourself to more genres, you're going to learn more techniques or more sounds to put in your genre. Like I always say this one, drum and bass, right? Drum and bass. It's very acidy, very like squelchy, distorted, but a lot of that would go well with techno. You know, like, or for house, a lot of classical could go well with that. Piano stuff, right? And violins, and you got Timmy Trumpet, right? He plays a lot of the trumpets over house tracks. Yeah. And that goes really well. Yeah. So I think listening to different genres, I think, is a fantastic.
Oh, totally.
Mix with like your music and that.
Totally. Big fan of drum and bass, like massive fan of liquid drum and bass.
Liquid, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a jump up guy.
Yeah.
I love jump up. But that's what we grew up with, like in the UK, right? Yeah. Liquid wasn't really a thing, but I mean, drum bass is a really good thing to learn, like elements as well. It's tough to produce.
Yeah, I've never actually tried producing it. That's the thing. Like,
I've tried.
I would love to.
I was just like, it's just useless. But it's good to like do, definitely. So let's go a bit back then. So obviously you was doing your like the mixing stuff with your brother, and then you got your sort of controllers and things like that. What was like the sort of first sort of music you was mixing with that then? Like, was you experimenting with music when you got your like your controllers, or was you just sticking to a certain genre that you liked, or was you mixing up a bit?
Yeah, it was mostly house, really.
Yeah.
House, trance, progressive house, mostly that stuff. Deep house. And then in Ontario, I also like, I was playing a few like house parties and whatnot.
Yep.
And so I would kind of just like be playing everything. And I learned to DJ spinning a lot of hip hop too.
Sick.
And like top 40 stuff, because, a friend would hire me for just a bar gig.
Yeah.
And that's what you had to play.
So let's go into this then.
Yeah.
So like, what did you used to do? Like, like everyone's birthday parties, like when like everyone was like 16 years old or something? Did you used to like DJ their parties and stuff, or?
It wasn't that early.
No.
No, it was more in university. Like once I graduated high school.
Yeah.
Then I basically like bought my first that like Allen and Heath controller and everything. So.
You started doing everyone's parties and that, yeah.
Yeah, a few here, a few there. Yeah.
How'd they go for you? Like the commercial ones.
I mean,
top 40. Yes, we've all done them.
Interesting, right? It's a funny experience because it was kind of like I want to DJ the stuff that I enjoy DJing, and so I'm like taking gigs to kind of like, I guess, get like a bit of exposure and like trying to find those opportunities, right? But at the end of the day, like I don't know, like sometimes I didn't enjoy it, obviously, because I'm not, somebody comes up to me and is like, drunk people requesting some top 40 song that I would never listen to.
Yeah. Like
on my own.
Yeah.
It's not like the most fun, but it made me a way better DJ. Just having to mix hip hop and having to mix fast and being under that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
Of even just like dealing with requests and people rolling up and asking you stuff or yelling at you or or whatever, right? So,
did you do any mic work?
Never. No.
Big it up for Sheila. She wants Robin S. Show Me Love.
Except for New Year's. Yeah. That was like the only time that I would, because if I'm DJing on New Year's up to the countdown, then you got to do something like, But
Happy New Year, that's it.
No, I've never been a microphone person.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's just like, just play the music. Yeah. Try and do the best you can with your mix and let the music speak for itself. And yeah,
I think it's good though to do it because you get to learn like crowd presence.
Yeah,
like you get to learn what works with the crowd, because you're not just like, if you go to like say one of your events, right, and your people coming to see like house music, progressive house and melodic house and all that sort of stuff. But then when you're playing for a crowd, like you've got to do house, drum and bass, hip hop, top 40. You've got to do everything to keep everyone in there. And I think like doing that kind of DJing is way more tougher in the sense that you've got to please everyone.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to play like the chart bangers and stuff like that. So you're right though, it's a good learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's I don't regret any of it. Like I think it's all a learning lesson. Like for me, I guess it was kind of a sign that I wanted to DJ so bad that I would take gigs that involved me playing not really what I would usually like to play, but just then I would end up having fun and having a good time.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. And I would try to, it was interesting because within the genres that I like normally wouldn't play, or like, say I was asked to do like a top 40 gig.
Yeah.
I would like purposely like go and search up remixes of those top 40 songs that I knew I could probably get away with, that like kind of had a vibe that was like, okay, I can, I could play this and enjoy it. So every like top 40 song that was coming out, like all the Billboard charts, I was just on Google like this song remix, that song remix. Like I would always like stay away from the originals and just try to find some cool housey remix or something that would like excite me more. But
how did you get your music back then?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean,
it's
such an evolution, right? Like obviously we all know the classic LimeWires,
the aids for your computer.
We know we know the Napsters. We know the torrents, like all that stuff.
There was one I used called iMesh.
What was that?
It was fucking shit. It was just like LimeWire.
Yeah.
As soon as you went on it and downloaded it, your computer's fucked.
Yeah.
It's like, I got one good track out of it for a fucking really expensive computer.
Or you download a song and it was like, it was named something, but it was a completely different track.
Completely different. Yeah.
So way back, like in high school and like early university, where I was just getting into DJing, I would just try to like Google the songs or use one of those things that was like, I barely knew about Beatport. I barely knew about TrackSource. I barely knew about Juno. Yeah. Like any of that stuff. Obviously now and for many, many years now, like if I want to get a track, there's no other option but to buy it.
Yeah, you got to support your scene, right?
You have to, like, what would I want somebody to do if I made a song and put it out and they wanted to play? It's like, support the person that spent time creating it, and also you just want the artwork on that 3000,
Yeah,
that's when it's
sick,
spinning. It's worth it.
that's because again, like, did you ever like play vinyl, collect vinyl or anything like that? Or just dabble in it?
I've dabbled a little bit, but only after I moved to Vancouver.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about getting back into it again. Because like when you bring up the artwork for the 3000, I find the same with like vinyl.
Yeah,
like, the artwork is the cool little bit, spins around and you get different colors and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get back into that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but you're right, like 3000. When I first played on them, when I came to Northern Haus, which we'll get up onto, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I got on. I was like, fucking, I haven't played these yet. They're sick. They're massive as well, though.
Yeah,
like the size of a coffee table. But they're like fantastic, like pieces of equipment. And then like I was like, hey man, that V10, you have to show me.
Oh, the V10.
Because I haven't played in that before. Yeah, that's an extreme mixer as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So we go into Northern Haus then. So, because I'm trying to paint a picture here. So you've gone from like, the school days, getting into that music, DJing some commercial clubs. When was like your first ever like proper gig that you wanted to do? Like, did you send mixes out? Did you do mixes somewhere else and then send them in? Like, how did you approach your first like proper gig that you wanted to do?
Like overall or in Vancouver?
Overall. Let's start from
start
like early.
Yeah, overall, I think it was, so in university I was part of a fashion show. It was actually like one of the biggest student-run fashion shows that raised like tens of thousands of dollars every year.
Yeah.
Like for Children's Health Foundation and like kind of like, good causes.
Sick.
And at the end of the fashion show, they would always have like a massive party.
Yeah.
And that's like when I was starting to get into DJing, right? I started to be a part of this fashion show. I was part of it for like 5 years. And I think one year I was just like, can I play this? Can I play this after party?
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of like my first, like, can I play this gig? Can I like put together a bunch of just awesome house remixes and banging tracks, that I can just play all night. And I would say that was kind of like my first gig that I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Like, and like, how was like doing a fashion party? Did you like, is it the after party? So everyone's there. Like, was it like everyone that was in the fashion, including the models, everything, whatever?
Yeah.
All at this party?
Yeah. Everyone that's part of the fashion show and everybody that like came to the fashion show. Yeah. So it was like people that came and just watched, and then people that were in it. So, and we were all like close, and everybody was friends because it was basically a full year thing to prepare for this like end of the year fashion show. So it was a pretty big production, lots of choreographed dancing, lots of cool performances, all that kind of stuff.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And then like, what sort of music was you playing at that?
I would say like kind of like banging house remixes of stuff that people could still like recognize.
Mm-hmm.
progressive house, like techno, just energetic stuff. Yeah.
And have you ever thought about DJing for a fashion show?
Sorry?
You ever thought about DJing for the fashion show?
I did that once, actually.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm digging deep now, aren't I?
Yeah, but it wasn't for that one. I think it was for another one. Where I was like literally it was a funny scenario, like being kind of off the stage.
Yeah.
Right? And just like DJing live while the people would be walking out and all that stuff.
So how does that work then? So if say like you've got a different brand for clothing, right?
Yeah.
And they want a certain song, do you have to have like a list of like, okay, these people are going to be walking out first, then I need to play like their track that they want for their brand?
It was pretty planned out. Yeah.
That's fucking wicked.
Yeah.
And it all like went smoothly, nothing went wrong. Or
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten anything in the mail, so
sweet. That's wicked. I've never, because like people like, I love like hearing the stories like people like play different things here and there, but like I've never spoke to anyone who's done a like DJ at a fashion party.
Yeah.
That's fucking wicked. Like a fashion party and like the actual runway thing, like for the fashion.
Yeah.
That's a cool fucking gig.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you reckon you'd do that again?
Depends on what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. If it aligned, like, I feel like nowadays I'm kind of selective in the sense that I'm like, okay, if it aligns with what I can provide and, you know, what the other collective is doing, then I'm all about it. You know?
So from that then, what was the next part of your journey to like DJ?
Well, I guess, you know, we can touch on the move to Vancouver.
The move to Vancouver, let's do it. What made you come to Vancouver? Was it your parents?
No, it wasn't my parents
your parents live in London, sorry, yeah. So what made you move to Vancouver?
Honestly, just a lifestyle change in terms of, I had been in London, Ontario for so long. Yeah. You know, and I had been like kind of traveling back and forth between London and Toronto, and because I have a brother in Toronto, and at that time I had like 2 siblings in Toronto. Yeah. So I did like public school from grade 4, then high school, then 4 years of university, then 2 years masters, and then another 2 years, another masters. So I had been in university for 8 years, and this was all being in London, Ontario. Right. So after graduating and be like, okay, I'm done with school. Yeah. Like, I'm good. Yeah. You know, I actually got a job in London, Ontario. So I'm like, all right, like I'm staying here, I guess. Yeah. But after a few years, I was like, you know, it's time for a change. I want to go sort of, like, as they say, spread your wings. Yeah. So, I chose Vancouver because growing up in Slovakia, it was just mountains and nature and a lot of that kind of stuff. And I really miss that, you know.
Slovakia's beautiful, isn't it? I've been to Slovakia. It's a lovely place.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Like, the mountains there are awesome. The food there is awesome.
Food's great.
Yeah. The beer.
Beer's good, yeah. Oh, beer's wicked. Oh, no, because I'm tasting it right now. It tastes
there you
great,
go.
Yeah. So can you speak Slovakian then?
Yeah, I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's my first language.
Really?
Yeah.
Man of many talents.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Not by choice, you know.
Not by choice, yeah.
You're born a Slovakian baby. You gotta
pick up the lingo.
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah. So how was the dance scene in like London, Ontario then?
Not really present, to be honest. There's like a few venues sometimes trying to do like a few kind of like housey, dancey things, but for the most part, it was just it's a very big university town, right?
Oh, okay. I've never been, so I'm going by what you're. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very big university town, and so it's mostly just like your typical bars, and you know there's some awesome venues and bars there. Yeah. There's one venue called the London Music Hall, which was where I played those like fashion show after parties. And they would bring some really awesome like house, progressive house, techno talent and stuff like that. But for the most part, like compared to what we have in Vancouver right now, it wasn't anything that I wanted to like keep investing in, because typically you go from London, you go to Toronto, and you start playing in Toronto at all the venues that they have, which, you know,
just peak, innit?
Yeah, it's just much more diverse, and there's a lot more investment, obviously, in a bigger city like that.
So in Montreal, innit, as well. Montreal
100%
is fucking insane. They got stereo, and they, you know, they're invested massively in their dance culture scene, right?
Oh yeah.
And hopefully Vancouver sort of, you know, picks up that part as well.
Yeah, but I mean,
what's your takes on the Vancouver scene anyway? Because for me,
it's a good question.
For me, it's the fucking time clubs close. It just drives me insane.
What do you mean?
The time that clubs shut.
Oh yeah,
it's like 2:00 in it or something.
Oh yeah, right. Are you talking about when they shut down?
Like the clubs,
some go till 3. But I feel like we have so many. Well, I wouldn't say so many, but a few really solid like after hours spots here in the city that always give you the option to, you know, if you don't want to stop partying at 2 or 3 and you want to go see another amazing DJ. Typically, like almost every weekend now, or I would say every weekend now, you have the option to do that. So, yeah.
So when you moved to Vancouver, then, but what was your first gig that you did, and how did you break into the scene in Vancouver when you first got it? Like, you know, like for listeners and things like that, like you've just arrived in Vancouver. Like, right, I want to suss this scene out. How do I get involved? Like, because what you say here might help someone. Break into a scene anywhere if they move to a new city or something like that, because people are moving all over the place now. So how would you break into that, or how did you? Sorry.
I have a kind of an interesting story of how I kind of just got into it. I have a good buddy, Dan, whose wedding I actually went to this past Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Congrats, Dan.
Yeah, congrats, Dan.
Yeah.
Happily married to a happy couple.
Yeah. And he moved here like way before I did, and you know, he's been working with Monster Cat for a long time.
They're pretty big, aren't they, Monster Cat?
Yeah. And so basically, when I got to Vancouver, I was chatting with him, and he pointed me in the direction of Groundwork.
Right. Yeah. Joel West's one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, where should I go to? Any recommendations you have for me to like check out in the city, or because I wanted to start exploring and seeing what was good, you know, in Vancouver when it came to the scene. And so Dan was like, go check out Groundwork. It's this monthly like networking event for like producers, DJs, that you just, you know, you go to by donation, and they play producers' tracks. They usually have a keynote speaker. And funnily enough, the first Groundwork I went to, Bryn Lytle, who's like one of my best friends and closest friends, Legend. And also studio partner now.
Yeah, shout out Bryn.
Shout out to Bryn. And he was the guest speaker. And, you know, so I just came in, I sat down, Joel interviewed him. Shout out to Joel West as well.
Yeah, man, download for the scene, isn't he?
Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have met Bryn, and also wouldn't have met my partner, my girlfriend Victoria. So
there you go.
Yeah, because I met her at like the third Groundwork.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, Joel West is the connector of a lot of things for me.
Oh, there you go.
And I've told him this, you know.
Have you?
Yeah, a handful of times.
Yeah, but he loves that.
Oh, of course. I mean, I love him. So
that's wicked though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I met my missus in a pub. I mean, meeting him at like a sort of music gatherings, like a different story.
Yeah.
That's fucking wicked though.
Yeah, and so Bryn and I connected after that first Groundwork. Just you know, having a couple beers when we were listening to people's tracks, and then we decided to meet up like outside of it and just kind of start chatting and stuff. And then I invited him to a party that I was asked to play at.
Yep.
For a friend's birthday in West Van. It was just kind of like a house party thing.
Yep.
Where a friend lived with a bunch of other people. It was one of those like big houses with 10 people living in them. Everyone's doing their own cool little things. And I think that's when like Bryn heard me DJ for the first time. And So like not only did we become good friends, he was like, oh, like you're actually a good DJ and all that stuff. And then I obviously visited Northern Haus, and we kind of just got closer and closer and closer. And before I knew it, we were doing the Haus Residency Thursday nights at Northern Haus, and hosting different guest DJs every single week and giving them a platform, and also just having like a beautiful night every single Thursday.
Yeah.
To bring, people from the scene closer together and make connections and hear different DJs on the decks. And yeah.
It's a beautiful platform. I mean, we're going to dive into this now because obviously we've gone through your journey of how you got into it in Northern Haus.
Hope that wasn't too long.
No, that's good, man. We want to know the more about this Still London. So,
nice.
So with Northern Haus, and you got involved with brewing and stuff like that, and you're repping the merch of the cap as well.
That's
so
right.
Fair play. And I ain't got a Rave room hat, but I'll get one.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Photoshop.
Was that?
Photoshop.
Okay. Yeah, I did. So you got into the Northern Haus thing, which I was fortunate enough to play a couple of weeks ago, which is, I thank you very much for that.
You killed it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Big love. And so how did Northern Haus, when you got into that, how did you start the residency? What brought up the idea for that? For the residency that you do? Because you host a residency every Thursday.
Yes.
If you want to go and check them out, it is Northern Haus on Twitch as well. Follow them on Instagram, all that jazz. Still London as well. You run the residency. Like you said earlier, you invite guests.
Yeah.
So what come up with the idea to start this residency?
You know what? I think it was Bryn that came up with that idea.
Okay.
And I can't remember. He might be able to tell you better. I wish I could just give him a call right now and be like,
do it. Just get him on the phone now. Just do it. It'd be wicked.
That would be cool. My phone's over there somewhere.
If you want it, you can. just get him on it. Be like, hey, Brent, how do we start up Northern Haus?
Yeah, right?
You go and do it.
Really?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on. Just do it. See what he says.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Hey, bro. How you doing? Good. So this is kind of a funny call because me and Brad are doing the podcast right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we thought it'd be fun to give you a quick shout because he was asking me like, oh, how did Haus Residency originate? And I was like, I'm pretty sure Bren came up with the idea.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly can't remember right now.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's exactly what I said. I was like, how did we come up with it? But then I was like, I think Bryn might have like.
Are we live on the pod right now?
Yeah, we are. We're recording. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up?
What's up?
Yeah.
Honestly, that is hilarious. That I can't. That honestly, it just shows how like organic it was because I feel like it was just like a mutual. I remember I asked you if you wanted to do a weekly. I think it was originally like a bi-weekly mix series, and we kind of like landed on weekly.
Yeah.
And I think because I asked you about Thursday. No, I think I asked you if you wanted to do a mix series at the studio that we stream. Yeah, we picked Thursday because it seemed like the best day to do around gigs.
Yeah.
And I don't think we originally planned to have a guest. I think it was just kind of like, and then it sort of organically happened. Because if you go back to the first ones, it was just you playing.
Right. Yeah. I remember that.
Two, it was just you, and then we decided to bring on guests.
Right.
Yeah, and it just kind of organically happened, like, because it was during the pandemic, like, we didn't really have anyone in the studio, and
right.
We had done, to kind of launch the live room, we had done the 4-episode series featuring, like, you and Victoria Wave Report, Kevin Shu,
Yeah.
Sid, and myself, and those had looked really cool, and I wanted a way to kind of keep showcasing the studio every week, and just kind of keep getting it out in front of people.
Right.
And so I think I approached you about doing a mixed series.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, it was just a totally organic collaboration, and it just kind of morphed into what it is now.
Sweet. Yeah. It was hard for me to remember because you're right, it was so organic. It kind of just...
I was just like, cool, fucking bring up that and ask him.
Right. I think I remember now. Yeah, I asked you about it, and you're like, oh, wow. So I said, do you want to do your own, do you want to have your own show? Because I think at the time I was almost thinking of starting a few different shows, and it just really, that one really stuck.
Right.
So, yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the call and joining us on the live on the air.
Live on the air, let's go, Rave Room.
Yes.
Well, big ups to Brad and Rave Room podcast and everything you're doing for this scene.
Cheers, mate. I love you.
Shout out.
Couldn't applaud you more. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of your podcast, guys.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, mate. Love you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you, bro. Bye. There you go, mate.
There you go. That's how it went.
I love it.
So it organically started.
Yep.
So how do you get your guests on then? Like, how do you find the guests that you want to pick and like selecting them and getting them on every Thursday then?
It's such a combination. It's sometimes we'll get requests. You know, people message me or message Bryn. Sometimes we'll see that a DJ's coming from out of town and they'll be here like during that time. So
yeah,
we're like, oh, this is cool to get an out of town DJ on the show potentially. Sometimes people come up to me or to Bryn like when we're out either playing gigs or when we're supporting our friends playing at different venues, and also just connecting through social media and just kind of observing, you know, who's playing where, who's playing what, seeing maybe some new faces on lineups. Yep. You know, so
that's sick. And like, how did because obviously you did Thursday, you also did like the Northern Haus also did the new tracks like sort of series, right? You can send in tracks and you can have it reviewed.
Yes,
they also did that, right?
Yeah,
as well?
Demo Jam.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another great thing Northern Haus do as well.
Yeah,
they did that, and I'm sure they might do it again in the future.
Yeah.
But what other things does Northern Haus provide? Because I've been to Northern Haus. If you haven't been there, it's a great studio. Provides a lot for musicians, and yeah, it's a fantastic facility.
Cheers, man. Yeah,
like to fucking make music. You got fucking awesome speakers in there.
Oh yeah. The Barefoots are
fucking insane,
top notch.
And yeah, just like you got the mixing room, you got the studio. We also did like a podcast, didn't we? Just to show briefly like the studio itself. So how do you try and navigate the time of getting the flying in DJs into the studio for a mix? Like, how do you approach that?
Well, typically it's just kind of comes off as like from them already coming to the city, you know, or if we know somebody personally, you know, we might invite them down, or if one of our friends is throwing an event with them headlining or having them come down for a separate gig on the weekend, maybe they get here earlier. Like for example, you know, I played the open air gala at Science World last Friday.
How'd that go?
It was really cool. Yeah, it was really awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Cam, shout out to Kirash, you know, shout out to Pixel Art, like all the bootleggers. I spoke to Cam at one of the RX pies. Yeah, absolute geezer. Yeah. And so I played that, and you know, one of their headliners was Ray Cash, I think, who came down from LA. Yeah. And so we had them on Saturday at the studio. Just do a mix on the decks in the live room, which is really cool.
That's sick.
Yeah. So
obviously you do the Northern Haus Studio every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
People make sure you go and tune in and check it out. How, like, DJing in Vancouver, like, how many, like, where have you DJed? Like, what clubs have you done?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's your journey been in Vancouver as a DJ? Because we're trying to uplift Vancouver's scene. You've played a lot of like events.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, so how, like, what venues have you played, and what venues can people go to that are like really good?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say, one of my favorites, Gorgamish.
Legend place, isn't it?
Legendary place. Shout out to Graham and Amy. Awesome humans.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgamish is very special because it's a 3-hour set.
Yeah.
And that's both incredibly liberating as a DJ, but also incredibly, like, scary.
Yeah. Have you got the arsenal for it?
Yeah. Have you got the tracks? Can you like seamlessly flow through not only different styles, different genres, or different energies, but can you like kind of stay on point for that 3 hours to really also connect to the crowd and see what works, see what doesn't. And it being an after hour spot open from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m., it makes it even potentially more challenging because it's easy to potentially lose a crowd at 6 a.m. when everybody's already tired and like could probably go to bed within 5 minutes, right? So I would say Gorgamish is definitely one of my favorites, and I have so much love for it because it's not only made me a better DJ, but just kind of experiencing that experience of going there at 2 a.m. or at 5 a.m. and just, all right, we're gonna throw down for 3 hours. And have you got
enough piss break tracks as well?
I mean, I've never done. That's a good question. Last time I played, I had to pee from probably my second song in. And I just overrode it.
Oh, really?
I kind of just told my brain, like, shut this part of your body off right now and just focus. As I'm continuing to drink the Red Bull and the water, and
just like, where's nearest cup? And just like, oh, I have to just fucking do it. Yeah.
Can't say I've ever done that, but never say never, right?
Never say never. Yeah. I was always asked, like, when you've got a 3-hour set, that's like you need a couple of piss break tracks for sure.
Yeah.
Where's my 9-minute track?
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? Like, so doing the 3-hour set, then, like, do you think trying to keep that crowd, do you think the DJing that you did for the parties that you didn't want to play music for, like the top 40 stuff, trying to keep that wide crowd, do you think that's made an impact on how to do the 3-hour sets?
I'm sure it has.
Do you think it has? I think it would do.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it would do because, like you say, you've got to try and keep that flow going for such a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a really good way to experiment your music as well.
Yeah.
And experiment the crowd.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. Yeah. I guess other venues, you have the Vault, which is new. I played there a couple times. Yeah. Awesome venue. I've played Celebrities a couple times.
How's that? 'Cause that's a big club.
Yeah, it's a big club. I had an absolute blast the last time I played there.
Yeah.
It's definitely different, but it's still awesome. It's kind of what you make of it, right?
Yeah.
You have Harbor. You have
what is the Harbor Event Center?
What is it?
Yeah.
It's the Harbor Event Center.
Yeah, I mean, is it just for anything, or is it like?
You know what? I'm not really sure because the only times I've been there was for shows.
Yeah.
To either go see my friends play or to see.
Is it like what could narrow it down? Mm-hmm. Is it specifically a club, or is it for just normal events?
I think it's for everything.
Oh yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I could be wrong. Just only because I've only been there for music events.
Yeah.
And they also have the Harbor Theater, which is a bit of a smaller venue, it's literally a theater.
Yep.
So I'm sure theater things go on in there as well.
Yeah.
As shows.
Yeah.
Theater
things.
Theater business. Yeah, and I mean, obviously you have Village Studios, which is beneath Celebrities, I love that place.
I've never been there.
Oh,
never played it.
You gotta
never
go.
been there.
Yeah.
Never done it.
It's an amazing spot as well. Yeah.
So what would you say would be like your best set you've ever had then?
My best set I've ever had.
The best set you've ever had, yeah. Or the most favourite set.
Oh, that's such a tough question.
I know, that's why I'm asking it.
Wow. I feel like there's been a few.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them's been at Gorgamish. One of them I feel like was at Vault for our friend Serena's birthday. Mm-hmm. It was only a 1 hour set, but it was one of those sets where you just so in the flow, you kind of forget.
Fucking loved it.
Where you are and what you are. Everything just flows.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Another venue that I haven't mentioned yet, D6.
D6,
Park
bro.
Casino. Yeah, one of the best sets I've had was with Bryn.
Yeah. Did a little back-to-back, didn't you?
Back-to-back. Still London, Bryn Lytle to close out the RX show. So that was incredible.
Yeah. The party's pumping, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I went to the first RX, but I didn't get the last one because I was away.
Oh, okay.
But I saw the videos and it looked fucking insane.
Oh, it was incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm sure I'm forgetting some places. But yeah, overall I love what's going on in the city, and I have nothing but love and support for everybody that's putting themselves out there and investing into throwing parties or investing into a venue and bringing people together. Shout out to everybody doing that, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And but it's really important and impactful for human beings to be able to just go lose themselves in music.
Yeah.
Make new friends, be around each other, And
that's what. And again, I'm not going to make this about me because this is your show, but I had that when I played for you at Northern Haus. I was I'm surrounded by fucking wicked people.
Oh, cheers.
Whoever jumps on the decks, fucking get on it. You know what I mean? I didn't care about trying to,
No,
this is about me. I was just like, I'm more happy about having some good friends around to fucking mix tracks for me. We just do some random shit and have fun, and that's the thing I love the most about when I did my set at Northern Haus.
Mm-hmm.
That was fucking wicked. I was like, Dom, get in there and fucking play, and Cam and whoever else wants to fucking mix in a track, And I think that's what it's all about.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And going back to Northern Haus, right? Like from the start, me and Bryn connected on a very simple concept or ideology, which is just love. Might sound cheesy or corny.
That's true, isn't it? You loved the music, didn't you?
But when you come, I guess, at the world or at an industry or at a passion or whatever you want to call it, from that place of kind of like simplicity of, like we love what we do, where we love music, we love DJing. We want to like stand on that foundation of the love and kind of hold that space.
Yeah.
Which is what Northern Haus is. When you come on a Thursday, you're welcome.
Yeah, man.
Be who you want to be, play what you want to play. There's no rules or regulations that say like you have to play this genre, or like, a lot of DJs have asked me like, is there anything specific, like any specific style or whatever?
No.
And every time, like, if you want to play this genre or that genre, like just play what represents
your brand or your style
or what makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Because then that translates to
who you are,
the environment and who you are, and all that stuff. So while we navigate this world of quote unquote industry and business and different shows and venues and all that stuff, I think it's important to have that kind of underlying mindset of like, why are we here?
Yeah.
You know, what are we doing it for? And it's really just to not only like move forward in our art and like what we wish to achieve, but also to like help others do that for themselves and kind of collectively come together. I don't, like basically every Instagram post that I post, I always have the hashtag community.
Yeah.
Just because it's so important. It's so much more powerful to change a scene or to uplift a scene or to inspire.
Even start one.
Yeah, or just start one or inspire. You know, it doesn't matter what echelon or what part of the quote unquote like
trend is,
illusion of trend or hierarchy or wherever you are.
Yeah.
You know, or wherever you perceive yourself to be or where you're perceived to be. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, you know, the random guy that you've never met dancing in the corner of the club is just as important as the DJ.
For sure, mate. As a
you
punter.
know, it's all connected is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. And I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Just like the bar stuff. If you learn how clubs or bars work, you know, how bars function with everything, with the DJ, the door staff, everything like that, all has to work like clockwork. It has to work within sync of each other, and that's the club culture. You know, everyone loves that part of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I used to do a lot of, me and my mates used to do a lot of parties in fields, and you know, and even that is, the setting up of it is wicked. Getting the music going is wicked. You know, like, and like you say, everyone matters that's in that room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter if you're like the toilet cleaner or you're fucking the glass collector or bus boy, if they call it that.
Yeah.
You know, or bus aide, whatever.
Yeah, the bouncer, the bus boy, the bartender, the co-check person.
Yeah, it's all part of the crew and the collective of doing that. And I mean, I'm going to go a little bit more on Vancouver's scene, but we're going to like producing. But what do you think Vancouver needs like now to progress or move forward to put it on the map in the scene? Because I'm asking you this question because you have a lot of DJs, you DJ a lot of parties, you know, and you're really, you know, I think you're very involved and very knowledgeable. So, what do you think the music scene with the cost of like the rent going up, utilities, things going up, what do you think the scene needs to do to thrive through that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean,
cheers.
Coming out with the hot questions, dude.
Sorry, man.
Well, first of all, I think the scene is going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I've kind of been feeling that since I moved to Vancouver. Obviously we had the pandemic, which just plummeted everything, right? But I think it might have, in a way, been beneficial somewhat, just because people are so hungry to get back out there once it ended.
So any situation, it has benefits and positive and negatives, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had so many negatives that, you know, we could talk about for hours, but because you
club closures,
club closures and like
just things like that.
Yeah, exactly, and which sucks, but I mean, we are where we are now, and there's, I don't know if you've noticed, but recently there's been so many more kind of collectives popping up and a few new venues.
Yeah, there's a lot of collectives.
Yeah, and I would say what the scene needs is kind of what every scene always needs, which is a slightly bigger focus on collaboration and more communication. And in terms of, I guess, even just spreading out different parties, or, you know, if someone's bringing a headliner one weekend, like, let everybody know so that the other collectives or other venues can kind of like adjust, and then maybe like the next weekend maybe there's like a role reversal. But I mean, it's hard to say that because every venue is in itself is a business.
Yeah.
And so it's, you can't really ask somebody to be like, you know what, just take it easy this weekend or whatever. So it's kind of unrealistic.
Yep.
But like I said, I feel like the scene is going in a good direction. I think as long as the individual components that make up the scene remain fans first.
Yeah.
They remain passionate for the music and the art and for the collective and the community. Mm-hmm. And like supporting one another, then it's only going to continue going up, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard to define what constitutes Vancouver or a city being on the map now.
Yeah.
You know, like what would you say that point would be?
For me, coming from the UK, throwing parties, all that shit, you know, I'm not going to go on about myself, but...
No, please do.
I feel like Vancouver, with social media now and marketing and things like that, people go with trends that work a certain way. And people are too scared to dot and dabble into trying new things. So parties that I've done in the past and over the years, I've been to DJ, whatever, people are going to this, I think, going to just a room and think, I'll get the best DJs or I'll get the ones that can bring money in, and it's more money focused. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of stepping away from that. Yeah. I think more about it is, why don't we put more time and effort into creating the brand and making the set? Yeah. Like I spoke to I had a podcast episode with one of my friends, Shane, and he spends more time prepping the detail and the look of the event than the actual event itself. So he'll put like flowers up and all this sort of stuff and create like a thing like EDC or Burning Man has their style and then this and the other. So I think collectives kind of need to have their own brand instead of just booking a DJ, putting a lineup, a flyer, booking a room. That's it. You know, like take the week off and spend the week. Or take the whole day off and get a crew in that want to support your brand.
So you're saying kind of put more effort into creating a more like unique and representative experience of what you stand for.
Yes. Yeah. I think that to put Vancouver on the map, if you create a brand and a party that you want to do, then I think, like, for example, like, you know, I've been to parties in the back in the, like, you know, in the day, and people would have their logo hanging around the club.
Right.
Or from the ceiling.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then they'd have like lasers bouncing off it. Or just something. I think that, I'm going to say, I haven't spoken to him properly, but Cam in Bootleggers, right? The drone thing.
Yeah.
That's a fucking phenomenal thing to do.
I agree.
Like the
agree.
You know, the RX stuff.
Yeah.
That's a new phenomenal thing for the thing. You know, you're not just doing a generic thing to, you know, booking the same and this and the other, like doing the drone thing, thinking outside the box for something different.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You know, I mean, that's just my take on it. But
no, absolutely, yeah, because it's easy to get kind of like worn out by all the parties as well, right?
Yeah,
and if I guess if there's no real like uniqueness to each event in terms of like the decorations or like the real style or the
decorations
lighting.
That's the word I was trying to find. Sorry, the decor.
Yeah. It's I know what you're saying. I feel like it would kind of like spruce it up and be like, oh, I'm excited to go to this because it's like, and you know what, like it's the one thing, like I didn't go unfortunately, but like the Brian Eno kind of like Tulum inspired theme party. I don't know if you went, but it looked like they put a lot of effort into kind of like turning, you know, Harbor into that kind of experience. Which is really cool. Yeah. Yeah,
and that's like the Disco Freak guys, the Irish guys that run that, right? They you know, they're not bothered about who comes along. They like doing their thing.
Yes.
And that's what I think it's more. I think people are more worried about having the amount of people on the dance floor to show on Instagram. And I've said this to people as well many, many times. I'd rather have 300 people, a room of 300 people solid packed out.
Yeah.
A smaller room than trying to fill a big room.
Always for me as well. I actually prefer the
smaller is
intimate,
great,
the intimate parties.
Yeah.
I like when the DJ booth is like on the same level as the people. I like when it's a smaller, more intimate vibe, when it's just packed. So you feel like you're part of the crowd. Yeah. That's
what Carl Cox says. He says, when I DJ, I want to be more on the dance floor than I am in the booth.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. But I feel like it's also kind of like a trickle down effect from the focus being on really filling those rooms, and obviously you want to show on Instagram or on social media that like you threw a sick party.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? Just as a DJ wants shots and videos of them, just absolutely like smashing a set in front of a packed crowd. It's kind of like you're manifesting that dream of just like really feeling successful in what you're doing, obviously. But then it's also, there's definite pressure. If you rent out a venue, now you owe money to that venue. That venue has to pay the bills. So it's like there's kind of like that sequence of responsibility that trickles down to you, and then it trickles down to the DJs to put on a good show, to represent the brand well. The brand represents the venue well. It's all connected. So
when we went back to everyone matters in the club, right?
Exactly.
The door staff.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where, going back to that.
Listen, not to interrupt you, obviously.
Sorry, I let you off.
Sorry. Continue.
That's right. You brought a Czech beer, so you're good to
all right.
Yeah.
But no, it's something popped into my head. I had an experience this past summer at a venue that I won't mention.
Yeah.
But it was like a stupid, silly little thing where we're sitting down with some friends.
Yeah.
And a bouncer, like, I guess was trying to get my friend's attention from like across the room, and like turns on his high beam flashlight and just starts shining it in our face, just to like instead of coming over and be like, hey man, like I want to chat with you for a little bit.
I'm gonna try and give you an epileptic fit instead.
Yeah, just like exactly. I was like blinded trying to talk to my friend, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like might have just been that one bouncer, but like we said, everybody matters, and you can't, like, that one experience could make you not want to go there anymore or whatever. So yeah, exactly. Everyone and everything matters, and it's all connected.
That you won't go for but then like he'll do that, and then you'd be like, oh, the lasers are all right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, flashing your flashlight in your face.
Yeah, you do that to a patron who's like just taking something, and it's like,
just fucking what the fuck,
no good.
No, leave me alone.
Yeah.
So going on to producing, then you do a bit of producing, didn't you?
I do. Yeah.
You do. You've had a very, very big hit. The remix you've done in the past. I had a little creep through your SoundCloud.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did. Of course I did. I'll get you on.
Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. So I saw, I had a little creep through like SoundCloud and that.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking, this song's got over 50k fucking listens. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
So obviously going from what you said in the past, your inspirations were Robert Miles, Above and Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
You went through that phase of producing as well. Am I wrong? Or am I right?
I did. I mean, I'm still definitely like in that phase of producing. I feel like I've taken a bit of a break from it. Just in the recent like past couple of years, I'm always working on things, but they're always kind of just like works in progress.
Yeah.
Just because, just full-time job and studio, and just being so busy with gigs and
Northern Haus
shows and Northern Haus,
yeah.
And we do the DJ coaching.
Oh yeah, so we'll dive into a bit of that. And go on.
Yeah. And we started a DJ coaching program. Me and Henry C are the two instructors, the two coaches.
Sweet.
And it's a really awesome program for anyone that is looking to learn how to DJ, and doesn't just have to be beginner. It can be intermediate, or even if you're an expert and you've been playing vinyl your whole life and you're just like, I want to learn about the gear because I've never actually played on CDJs, never seen a V10, etc. So that's been a really beautiful and rewarding thing that we've been doing. And we're continuing to do it. So
yeah, I know you gave me a bit of a crash course with the V10.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I know you're a very, very detailed person and a very, very how can I put it, like a very invested person. So I know that you're going to provide that good service.
Cheers.
You know, but yeah, the V10.
I do my best.
Yeah, but the V10, like for me, like, I'd never used it in all the years I've played, and so I was like, "Hey man, can you just give me a rundown?"
Yeah.
And it was a crash course, but I know that obviously when you're doing a proper one-to-one, you'd be more invested and more stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And how would people approach you to get that?
Again, you know, we have we have a few promotional reels on our studio page, on my personal page, on Henry's page. Shout out Henry C.
Shout out Henry.
Yes. Yeah, we.
Another one recently got married.
That's right. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Henry.
Yes. Yeah, we kind of just social media marketing, if you want to put it that way, and also just word of mouth. And some people just message me that they're interested to learn. They observe, you know, that they look at the stream on Thursday nights and they're like, "Oh, this is so cool." So just sometimes I'll be out at a show in the crowd and somebody will come up to me and ask me about it. So
that's good. It's good that people want to be a bit more involved as well in it. People want to get into it. Yeah. How do you think like the whole DJ scene now is in this climate, like social, because with social media and stuff? I always ask. I want to ask people. Sorry, I can't get my fucking words out. I ask people this question because they say that social media shows a lot of good, but
highlights.
not the highlights. Yeah. Do you think we're going more into the short term content for DJing?
I think we are. I mean, you're talking to somebody who's never been on TikTok. Yeah. And I kind of refuse to because I'm already addicted to Instagram and YouTube shorts and all that stuff.
I tried to do TikTok this podcast, but I'm like, I just can't be invested in it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, social media is such a funny thing, right? Because everybody kind of just shows the highlights or like
the good parts.
The good parts.
Yeah.
And I mean, I maybe used to overanalyze it in the past, but I don't really anymore. Yeah. I'm just like, if I like a photo of me playing or, you know, have a mix to post or have a cool thing to post on my story, it's just, there's not really much thought behind it. Yeah. Sometimes I spend way too long on a caption just because I'm like, does it sound stupid? You know what I mean? But then at the end of the day, it's like, is it genuine? Like, is it what happened? Is it how you feel about it? I think, and I think that comes from not trying to be somebody or not thinking that you have to be something other than you are. It's like, like the cool content will come if you keep doing your thing and connect with other like-minded people. And, you know, just through the scene, we were saying before, everyone's important. Yeah. Photographers, videographers, like such amazing humans that love to come out to shows and are big fans of the music.
Oh, mate, videographers and photographers,
you know,
they're the ones that have to get in the nooks and crannies of people dance around. They're like, stuff like this, and they're like, get the photo. They're trying to get, you know, it's hard work for them, isn't it? Like, it's fucking fair play to them.
No, fair. big time.
Because they got to like, dive into the crowd by taking a photo, you know, to pull all these stunts just to get a good shot.
Yeah, and it's also that collaborative thing, right? If you're if you're a DJ playing a packed room, and you have a homie that's a photographer, a videographer, it's like, yo, come shoot me. Obviously, like, you pay their rate, and then it's like a win-win because you get awesome content and potentially more gigs out of it. Yep. That you'll enjoy playing, and then the photographer, videographer will get awesome content to to show what an amazing job they do at their craft.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like a cool synergy
thing
of people coming together.
Yeah.
And there's so many talented photographers and videographers,
especially in Vancouver. It's like the movie, innit? It's like the Hollywood of fucking Canada, innit? If you think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself moving forward in the future with things, music wise?
I would say, I guess going back to production.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to start finishing music again.
Yep.
And not be ADD about finishing songs. And
I've been like it for years.
You know, it's like I love the creative aspect of producing. I love sitting down and listening to different sounds and making cool drops and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then oftentimes I'll have to go to sleep to wake up for work early in the morning next day, or I'll have to be somewhere. I'll have to plan for something. So I want to basically my goal is just to like get back into production in terms of making more time for it.
Yep.
And readjusting my life so that I can actually really explore myself that way, and because I miss it, and also just so I can start playing out my own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to play a set with all original music. Like, how cool would that be? You know.
And you'll be doing what every producer does. You'll have the private track on SoundCloud, and you'll be car tested, earphone tested, fucking headphone tested, speaker tested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
fax machine tested.
Fucking anything you can go through. Yeah. And it's just like, I think I hated producing for like a numerous amount of years. I'll say numerous, about 4 years. I fucking hated it because I was never over analyzing it. Yeah. And
I'm the same way, man. Over in it, like
and I think now you should treat producing like the gym. Do fucking 20 minutes or 30 minutes a day, pull away from it. Do 30 minutes, pull away from it. Do 30 minutes, pull away from it. Don't overanalyze it. Just simplify everything, and then what you need to do. You know what you need to, and then that's it. Because I think some of the best creative music comes from your first thought of what you do.
100%.
Because when you fucking start over, it's shit. I've done it. I've spent 3 hours on shit, and I'm like, it's worse than what it's at the beginning.
Dude, how many tracks have you made where after like a month you're like on version 7 or 10 or whatever, and then you go back to version 1 and it actually like makes you feel something?
You're right, because in 2014 I made a track. It done really well.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I was trying to live up to that all the time, and I hated it. And I never thought I was good enough to make. I never said this actually, so it's the first time I'm saying it. I felt like I was never gonna make a track that could live up to it. You know, you got played by big DJs, blah blah blah, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, I'm never gonna make a track to live up to it. And then I ended up hating producing in the end.
Wow.
Because you just like, I'm never gonna make anything as good as that.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing it for enjoyment. So that's why now, years later, it's like, fucking treat it like a gym. Do a little bit here, do a little bit there. Watch. Be consistent.
Dude, I struggle with that so hard as well. Yeah. You know?
And it's difficult because, again, we're going to revert back to social media. So there's people making perfect tracks in a 15-second fucking video. Do you know what I mean?
Are they?
Do you know what I mean, though? It's so edited, and they're like, we in our minds we think, oh, this is such a banging track. He's done it so quick, and then we think we need to do that, and we get frustrated. And
Oh no, I agree. Yeah, it's what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy.
Never heard it, but I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's because DJing it's an entirely different beast. It's
it's expressing what you like.
You play the tracks you like. You do a gig. You're done. Release of energy. Cool. Yeah. But producing, it's especially nowadays with literally every plugin doing every friggin' thing under the sun.
Yeah.
It's so easy to basically just get paralyzed by all the choice that we have and to not commit to something. And I think you're right. You have to start going back to like, what am I actually feeling? Like, how does it, like, does it sound good? Okay, leave it. Like, stop continuously changing it and overanalyzing.
And this is what I was saying. This relates back to what we were saying earlier at the beginning of the show, which is, when you said everyone's trying to cram everything in a box and compress it and do a lot in a box.
Yeah.
It's the same with the music. Back in the day, you had limited things to make music.
Yeah.
So you made the best out of that great music. And I think people have too much now, and they can't.
I agree.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Of course, dude. Some of the best music some of my favorite songs. Like, if you were to give it to like a mix engineer or like a mastering engineer, or even just kind of like objectively compared it in terms of like mix quality, like some of the best tracks or pieces of music ever made have complete crap mixes.
Yeah.
Like unbalanced, like weird panning.
Yep.
But they hit something because they probably connected with, well, not probably, but definitely connected with whoever was making them. And yeah, it's I need to, like, thank you for the reminder, because I need to definitely focus on that aspect of art and creation. Like, art can't be put in a box. Art can't be.
This is it, and this
perfect.
Is why I love doing this podcast show, because talking about this stuff, people get so, because anyone listens to this could be a fucking painter, could be anything.
Anything you do, yeah.
And it's all art, isn't it? And like when I speak to people about creating stuff, and you can always give good advice, but you can't take your own advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, story of my life.
Story of my fucking life, that is, mate. And it's just like, well, there's one song I love. I listened to when I was a kid. So basic. It's a garage song, and it's DJ Decline. I Don't Smoke.
Okay.
So basic. It is mixed so bad, but it's like one of the best songs ever.
Yeah.
Robert Miles. There we go. We'll go back to the tracks you like. Children, right? There's nothing complex about that song.
Nothing.
But it makes me fucking want to tear up when I listen to it.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And people can fucking throw like snares and shit into his stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I'm glad we've brushed up on that, because it does simplify it down a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm gonna keep that in mind, because it's so important. Like, it's, I guess for me as well, it comes from that being in that conditioning from when I was a kid of like everything that's worth it or is quality has to be like difficult, and you have to struggle for it.
Yeah, mate, real problem.
And that's such a like,
it's a European thing.
It's such a like, especially in school, it's like get 90%, like get a scholarship,
graft hard and
just
shit.
Stay up all night and ace the exam, and even if you don't like what you're studying.
Same when I grew up, mate. I was definitely think it's a European thing. You got to graft hard, and you got to do it. You have got to graft hard. Don't get me wrong, but you think you got to go through the wars to get fucking something.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
If you get something that is beautiful, and it came like easy, it's almost like I don't deserve it. It's like there's no way. There's no way like that this can be real, and there's no way I can leave it. I need to actually like mess it up to make it feel like it's worth it. Because
it's come too easy.
Yeah. And then that's why you sabotage all your tracks and make them sound actually worse with extra plugins.
It's a counseling session as well, isn't it?
Extra plugins and extra time, and it's like, there's no way I made this in 2 hours. Like, no, I need to spend the next 14 hours like digging a hole for myself, so that I can like feel like I'm worth like something, and like look how much hard work I put into it. But it's such a weird like mind fuck.
Man, I don't know if that's. I think that's like a European thing, isn't it? Because I don't know.
It might be a European thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I grew up with, and you grew up in Slovakia, so I'm kind of putting two and two together. I shouldn't generalize really, but I just think maybe. But then again, like Jamie Jones, he made "Hungry for the Power" remix. I think it was like 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I think I watched something years ago, and he said I made this track so easily. It was like so just. There you go, mashed together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Badly mixed, but it was like one of the best tracks I've ever heard.
Bangs. Yeah. And here we are, if we make a track in 2 days, we're like, I can't show anybody. This isn't it. I need to spend at least 2-3 weeks, like, diligently work on a track to be like, okay, it's ready. And it's like,
Just fucking put it out there.
Yeah, just put it out there. And I've self-sabotaged myself so much when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know, just because exactly what we're talking about, that mindset of like, it can't come easy or it can't come naturally. But sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just does. And you have to like not
clicks.
block yourself.
Yeah.
And like, next question is like, how do you do that? How do you unblock? That's round two. That's round two of the podcast.
Yeah, like meditate, fucking read some books. And that's one of the things I've watched actually. You know, and I have read is that meditation is great for producing music, eating well, going to the gym, living a good sort of lifestyle.
Dude, even playing with your kid, you know, like having some beautiful, spontaneous, innocent time, being silly.
Just you and the missus having a good time, like going out for dinner and shit.
Exactly.
Taking a break, going for a run. Going for a run is one of the best things you could ever do.
Yeah, 100%.
I think. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's one thing I gotta get back into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, mate. So what's the future plans for Still London then, before we brush up?
Well, keep working hard. Keep doing the studio thing.
Yeah.
Keep DJing, playing shows, producing, doing the DJ coaching, you know, sponsoring shows with the studio, hopefully meeting new people.
Yeah.
Fostering existing and new friendships, and just try to live a balanced and centered life so that the art does come through. And you know,
because I think we take too much into our brains and we don't live life to what it is.
Yeah. And also, you know, focus on making this journey of art and music sustainable. So you know, cutting myself off at certain points in the night where I'm like, you know what, I should honor my body and my mind and go to sleep at this hour instead of, you know.
I do that, you know. I if I got a DJ set that I play, I do a sharp an hour before. Yeah. Enjoy the set and then stay an hour after. Yeah. You know, doesn't mean I don't want to support the people. It's just that, you 100%. Know, like I'm coming, I'm supporting, I'm having a look and I'm DJing, I'm involving myself, but I need to sleep and all because I'm fucked if I don't.
No, I get that, man.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes I felt bad for leaving a show early or not saying goodbye to anybody or whatever. Yeah. But you know what? It's like if any of my buddies ever were like, or any of my friends just left without saying goodbye, like, I don't care. Go, like, I'll talk to you later. Like, you know,
we'll text me in the morning.
Yeah, we'll text each other, whatever. Like, I would never be like, what the hell, you just left? It's like, no, dude, go take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, mate, I bounce, you know.
Yeah.
I'm up in the morning, going gym, whatever. Job done.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what I should be doing.
Yeah, same. Yeah. No, mate, I really appreciate you coming on, mate. I'm glad we got it going in the end, you know. Things always get in the way, don't they? You know, life does. But you're a busy man, as you've explained. Yeah. So thanks for coming out here and taking the time to
much love, man.
Share your story, mate. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love your rings, by the way.
Oh, appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, I love the shiny jewelry.
Yeah. You got the good old
sovereign.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of me, mate. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, man. And
I appreciate it, mate. Yeah. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully, I wish you all the best in your future endeavours.
Likewise, brother. Likewise.
And hopefully we could probably do a back-to-back one day.
Let's do it.
Because that'd be sick.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love that.
I was going to quickly say, you know when we did Northern Haus?
Yeah.
And you played a track. I jumped. I smacked my head on the ceiling.
Oh, you did? You told me that.
Yeah.
You told me that.
Oh, fuck off. I was like, the camera's watching shit. Oh, I'm right.
We need to make a GIF out of that.
Yeah, we need to do something,
Yeah. We'll just make one of those GIFs, you know, that just
good marketing tool, yeah.
I love it.
All right, thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
All right, cheers, man. Thank you.